Good afternoon, students. In the first two class, we had seen just only the introduction. Is it no? Okay. Today onwards, we can go to the lesson deeply. Okay. How are you? I hope you all are fine. Okay, ma. So in the first 10 second classes, I simply said about the sources of medieval India. What are the sources are there? Is it no? What are the sources are there? So today we can go deeply. First one, see, the early medieval period start from AD 700 to 1200. Okay, same time, later medieval period start from 1200 to 1700 BC. Okay, so this early medieval period, from the later medieval period, how did we collected the sources? Okay, so here sources were left by the Arab, Persian and the Turkish travelers. Sources were left by the Arab, Persian and the Turkish travelers. Okay. Okay. Then we are going to see what are the classification of sources. What are the classification of sources? So there are two kinds of sources are there. One is the primary sources and another one is the secondary sources. Primary sources, secondary sources. So these primary sources, inscription, monuments and coins will come under the primary sources. Okay, inscriptions, monuments and coins will be come under the primary sources. That means whatever thing without editing or without making any changes we are obtaining that, we say it as the primary sources. Okay. And secondary sources, what are the secondary sources means? Literary works, chronicle, biography and autobiographies. Literary works, chronicles, biography and autobiography. So what are the two classification of sources? Primary sources and another one is the secondary sources. So inscription, monuments and coins will come under the primary sources. Literary works, chronicle, biography and autobiography will come under the secondary sources. Okay. And after that, we are going to see one by one. First one is inscriptions. First one is inscription. So inscriptions are writings engraved on solid surface such as rock stone, temple wall and metals. So I already told that if you are going to the palace or some other tourist places, you have seen that in the stone wall or in the palace's wall, everything, they will engrave some inscriptions and writings in the surfaces. Okay, so these are called the inscriptions. These are called the inscriptions. Next one is inscription on copper plates. So the ancient time, moreover, they will written in the format of palm leaf. Is it no? Palm leaf. After that, they used the copper plates to write over that. Okay, that is the copper plate inscription. Mostly in the copper plate inscriptions, they will encrypted all over the Hindu, Muslims and Christianities, all the land formats. That means donation of lands to the people. That is the main thing. Okay. So the king's royal decrees, dedication, donation, monuments, whatever there is deceased various contains the rich informations will be containing in this era. Okay. So various type of lands gifted by the Chola king are known from the only the inscription and the copper plates only. Okay, so first we are going to see what are the different kinds of land they had gifted by the Chola king. Okay, first one is Velan Vagai, that is the land of non-Brahmin proprietors. Land distributed to the non-Brahmin proprietors. Okay, and next one is Brahmadeya, that means land gifted to the Brahmins. Land gifted to the Brahmins. Okay. And next one is Shalaboga, that means land for the maintenance of your school. Shalaboga means land for a maintenance of the school. Okay, so that means they give the donation to maintenance for the school. Okay. Devadana, land gifted to temples. Okay, land gifted to temples. Pallichandam, land donated to Jaina institution. There will be no property assets or there will be no former thing. Only they will be inscripted in the copper plates. Wherever that land is donated, everything will be inscripted only on the copper plates. Okay. So the Islamic Persian only they practices the high cost of copper plates. Okay. So before that they used the palm leaf and the paper cheaper alternatives. Okay. See, in the later Chola period, Tiruvalangada plates of Rajendra Chola and unbuilt plates of Sundara Chola are the notable examples. Okay, ma. So Uttaramerur inscription in Kanchipuram district provide the details of the way in which the village administration was conducted. Okay, so where did they find out the inscription? Uttaramerur inscription in the Kanchipuram district. Okay, so I think you are well known about the copper plates. Okay, these are the copper plates. So moreover, the land for the donated to the Jaina institution or Hindu institutions, they will give over the inscriptions for the copper plates. Okay, and next one is monuments. So temple, palaces, mosque, tomb, forts, minas and minarets are called the by collective name of the monuments. Okay, so this inscription in the monuments, it will contains moreover the rich informations. Okay, rich information about the regional, cultural and valuable sources of that places. Okay, so that is the monuments. Can you able to give some example for the monuments? Shall we can see the Agra Fort, Agra, Taj Mahal, everything we can say it as the monuments. Is it no, ma'am? Okay. See, there are different kinds of monuments are there. For example, I am saying that temple in Tanjavur, that means Bragadishwara temple, Gangaikonda Cholapuram and Dharasura temple symbolizes the magnificent structure of the later Cholas built in Tamil Nadu. Okay, so moreover we all know that the Cholapuram temple is mostly entirely different architectural style. Is it no? So everything. Okay, and after that the Vitala and Virupaksha temples of Hampi. Okay, Vitala and Virupaksha temples at Hampi similarly speak of the contribution of the Vijayanagar rulers. So what are the examples of monuments? Temples in Tanjavur, Gangaikonda Cholapuram and Dharasuram symbolize the magnificent structures of Tamil Nadu. Same day, Vitala and Hampi similarly speak about the contribution of the Vijayanagar rulers. Okay, so not only that, there are moreover mosque, Charminar and the forts are there in the period of that. Okay, shall we go for that? Quatul Islam Masjid, Mokki Masjid, Jamma Masjid, Fatehpur Sikri Dargah. These are the important masjid in the medieval times. Okay, so what are they? Important masjids are Quatul Islam Masjid, Mokki Masjid, Jamma Masjid, Fatehpur Sikri Dargah. These are the main important masjids. And the important forts are Agra Fort, Chittor Fort, Gwalior Fort, Delhi Red Fort. Okay, some important forts are Agra Fort, Chittor Fort, Gwalior Fort, Delhi Red Fort. Okay, these are the important forts. Okay, ma. Mosque, Charminas and forts. These everything will be come under. This everything will be come under monuments. Okay, this everything will be come under the monuments. After that, while you are seeing the coins means the composition of metal in the coin gives us information on the economic condition of the empire. Okay, that means the picture and the legend on the coins convey the name of the kings with their title and portrait events, places, date, dynasty and logos. Okay, so the same thing we are having in the new currency itself, is it no? So just take out the example for the 1 rupee coin. We can see over the place, date and when. So what are the dynasty and what are the logos? Everything will be inscripted in that, is it no? Okay. The composition of metal in the coins gives us the information on the economic condition of the empire. Only through the coins we can able to analyze the economic condition of the empire. Okay, ma. See, it's not only that, the king achievements like military conquest, territorial expansion, trade link, religious faith, everything will be inscripted in there. For example, see the two pictures. See the two pictures, man. There are two different kinds of coins are there. Is no? The first picture is Lakshmi coin of Muhammad Ghori. Okay, Lakshmi coin of Muhammad Ghori. It was made in the metal of gold. Okay, so Muhammad Ghori has stamped the figure of goddess Lakshmi. Okay, so and his name also inscribed in it. Okay, so these coins tell us the invader, that means he is having the liberal in the religious outlook and moreover he also rich in economic conditions. Is it not? Is it or not? He also rich in economic condition. Same as, see the next coin. See the next coin. So it is made up of copper metal, is it not? It is made up of copper metal. So this coin was established by the Muhammad Ghalji. Muhammad Ghalji, he only used the copper coin. That means copper jewels are available for the study of the period of Delhi Sultans. Okay, so silver coin was introduced by Iltutmish, Alauddin Khalji gold coin, Muhammad bin Tughlaq copper token currency. Moreover, it's indicate that it's very poor condition in the economic empire. He used only the copper jewels, is it no? So it is indicating that they are in the very poor economic conditions. They are in the very poor economic conditions. Okay, ma. So Muhammad bin Tughlaq copper token currency are indicated of coinage as well as the economic prosperity of the country at the same time. Both coins, Muhammad of Ghori and Muhammad of Khalji. Okay. So moreover, the two coins, one it is made up of gold and another one it is made up of copper. So both the coin, it indicates the prosperity. One is rich in economic prosperity and another one is very poor condition in the economic prosperity. Okay. So what is meant by jewel? Moreover, I used 2 times I used the copper jewel, gold jewels. Is it no? Jewel means it's contained of 3.6 grains of silver. That means 48 jewels were equal to 1 silver chunk. 1 silver chunk. So up to this we can see today. And moreover, whatever thing we can see today, first one is inscription. Before that, what are the classification of sources? Primary sources and secondary sources. Primary sources and secondary sources. So from the primary sources we had seen the inscriptions and inscription on copper plates, monuments and coins. The monuments itself we had seen over the mosque, Charminar and forts. Is it no? After that, coins. Okay. So today you need to study that what are the different kinds of sources. What are the 2 types of sources? One is the primary sources and another one is the secondary sources. So whatever thing will be come under the primary sources? Inscriptions, coins, monuments. These 3 things will be come under the sources, primary sources. Okay. So remaining thing we can see over in the next class. Thank you.